Okay, welcome back to our channel, MegaWhale team. Thanks for tuning into today's video. We're going to be talking about VRA. We're going to be doing a technical analysis and update to about the price action and where we think the price will be heading in the next few days to few weeks. Be sure to stick around to the end of the video to find out all the information you need going forward. If you're a holder, if you're looking to buy, if you're wanting to trade it, we're going to give you everything you need today. So, quickly bridging off our previous video, and in the previous video we told you guys that VRA has recently rejected from this major resistance zone, this uptrending support line that we can see on the chart over here. And we said if we lose this gray zone here, we're going to be heading straight down to 0.07, our target. And in fact, we have actually reached that level. You can go ahead and take a look at our previous video over here, posted at the start of May, and you can see over here, we said the price will be heading downwards. We have actually, in fact, seen that. And I do want to talk a little bit about the overall macro structure of the chart. Then we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about the technical analysis, and then talk about Bitcoin dominance and altcoins in general, and talk about, what is the probability of this coin actually reversing? Because if we take a look at the chart, guys, it looks quite bearish, and we've given you that final low target, what we expect, of around 0.02 to 0.036, which is kind of that huge demand zone where we think the possible bottom could be in for VRA. And let's go ahead and quickly discuss one thing, and that is first and foremost that we have formed a short-term, actually, you know what, quite a long-term, quite a large time frame here, descending channel. And we already know, guys, descending channels are the same as ascending channels, and we do expect a break downwards from these patterns. If we take a look and flip the chart over here, we can see we have this ascending channel formation, and I would expect at some point a break upwards from this ascending channel, maybe come back up, maybe retest this resistance zone here before dropping back down, making new lows, or pushing back and retesting here. So before we get into anything else, just to knock out the bullish scenario, because a lot of people are going to be talking, hey Mega, what is the bullish scenario? Can VRA hit 1 cent or 10 cents, or can it go higher to $1? Real quickly, I don't think you should be thinking about that right now. I think before anything like that occurs, we would need to see a few things. First off, this zone would have to be reclaimed. And we've seen this zone act as a major resistance in the past. All right, so we need to reclaim that zone. Secondly, we would need to get back into the symmetrical triangle formation, which is over here. And thirdly, we would need to break over this major resistance zone at 2.5 and then clear these local highs over here and start making some new highs before we can push upwards for a final resistance at 0.41. If we clear 0.41, there's a very high chance we head to an all-time high. But you can see there's a lot of things that need to occur before we can say VRA is going to the moon or VRA is hitting a new time high. And we've talked about that a lot in the past. So let's go ahead and quickly discuss the short-term time frame, what can happen on the short term. So like I said already, we are in this descending channel. Now descending channels do primarily, most of the time, they break to the upside. And obviously we had a fake out over here and a retest, and we could potentially see a upside breakout. Now, the measured move for the descending channel really depends on the width of the channel. We can see this channel doesn't have a very large width. We take it from the retest at the top, so the top price point, which is in fact here, and we drag that down to that initial retest point, which is here. We can draw that one across to our breakout point, and we can see our breakout point anywhere between these points along here. Obviously, we break out on the 25th, it'll be retesting this downwards descending trend line. Now, this is a maximum target. It doesn't mean we're going to come up over here, it just means that will be the maximum target. Realistically, what we look at is the next major resistance zone. So the next major resistance zone post the breakout would be this area here. So on the short term, if we see VRA break above and close above this downtrending resistance, we can expect a move back into this range. That is still a pretty significant profit. That's still a 50, 55, 60% profit you can claim on VRA if you're trading it. Until then, we do have this short-term support, which is at 71, all right? 72, 0.072. And if we lose that level, we can expect a bleed downwards to this range here. All right, at this range, I'll be looking to purchase VRA or look to maybe grab some long-term positions on VRA. So guys, that is the analysis for VRA on the short term. We're going to go ahead and dive into our technical analysis, and then we'll go ahead and talk about the Bitcoin dominance and talk about the probability of altcoins actually rising here, and then give you our long-term price predictions. So for technical analysis, we're going to start on the daily chart. And again, there's not much to talk about in regards to the recent price action, just because we've talked about this a lot already, and we kind of predicted all this to happen. It's kind of following, all it's doing right now, it is just following our initial predictions. And it's following our initial predictions basically perfectly. So if you want to go ahead and watch that, go back to our old videos, watch those predictions, watch those videos, and you'll find out a little bit more information about how we actually came up with these levels and these zones over here. All right, so starting on the 7-day chart, we can see VRA is not looking very good. All right, we've printed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red candles now in a row weekly, which is significant. We haven't actually seen, I don't think we've seen 6 red candles in a row before. Actually, no, we saw 6 red candles in a row over here, but this will be our 7th candle. And that's probably the most red candles we've closed consecutively for VRA in history. So it'll be pretty interesting to see what happens. But let's bring up our Ichimoku cloud. And we can see one positive thing here is that Ichimoku cloud is finding support along that major horizontal support zone, which is nice to see. Other than that, it is looking considerably bearish. If we go ahead and bring up the Gaussian channel, we can see that again, we are underneath the Gaussian channel. It is not looking very, very good. And obviously the bull market support band, we are underneath the bull market support band. I do want to say for VRA, we would like to see a push back into the Gaussian channel. So if you invert this chart and we find rejection over here, and we push back into the Gaussian channel, clearing this zone here, we could see a push back to this midline, which will be clearing the uptrending, which we see resistance, which is that downtrending resistance on the normal chart. And that could send us past this zone here and potentially up to a new high. So that would be interesting to see, but I'm not going to be betting on it. I'm not going to be counting on it. A lot needs to happen. If we go down to the 3-day chart, we'll be able to see in a little bit more detail exactly what is occurring. And there it is. We can see in the 3-day chart, we are kind of aggressively moving downwards from the Gaussian channel. Bringing up that Ichimoku cloud again, we can see a little bit more support, and it's kind of flattening out over here. I would actually like to bring up the RSI, guys, real quickly. So the RSI and the MACD. And we can see on the RSI and MACD, we do have a little bit of flattening occurring, not a significant amount, not as much as I would like to see after a significant drop. And obviously the RSI is reaching new lows, and we did talk about this major horizontal support zone on VRA in our last video, and we said we lose this 40-point support zone, we will see new lows, and we have kind of crashed down to these new lows now. And we're kind of clearing this previous low in July, which is not good to see. What does that mean? It means we're creating a lower low. It's always not good to see. It's quite a bearish signal. All right, so moving back, let's go to the daily chart. And again, we're quite oversold here on the RSI. We're pushing back over the 30-point, which is a buy signal on a short-term time frame. It doesn't look like it's going to be sustained. It'll be nice to see what actually occurs on the RSI. And if we can actually get a sustained breakout over here, that would be obviously a nice thing to see. We do have this downward sloping resistance here on the RSI, and you can see that is acting as a short-term resistance. I think if we can break this downward sloping resistance here, and the price can get over this downward sloping resistance, we could see a push out of this channel and upwards. So if I'm looking to trade VRA right now, my potential setup would be, I'll be using the daily chart. I'll be looking for a daily close above the descending channel. I'd be looking for the RSI to break above this downward sloping resistance. And I would have my sell orders within this gray range. I'd have some at the bottom, I'd have some at the top, and some in the middle. All right, and I'd be trailing my stop loss. So if we go to a 4-hour chart, I'd be looking to see something like this. So we have the price here, say we push upwards, all right, RSI breaks out, we push up, we're gonna be looking for profit here. As we push up, I'd be moving my stop loss to around this level, this local high, maybe a little bit under, all right? So that is what I'll be looking for on VRA. If you want a safe entry, breaking this local high here, as we can see, we've got 2 local highs, can push upwards, that is a good safe entry. Otherwise, we can take a riskier entry upon that breakout or even the support resistance flip. Okay guys, let's go ahead and introduce our Bitget exchange. I wanted to quickly introduce my new favorite exchange, Bitget. Bitget is a non-KYC exchange, which is particularly beneficial for members in the UK and Australia who are limited by certain trade restrictions. Bitget has 250 plus spot trading pairs, as well as 60 plus leverage trading pairs, up to 125x leverage. Sign up now in the link in the description using our referral code to get up to $153 in rewards for completing 4 separate tasks. Let's go ahead and dive back into the video. So now that we've talked about our macro analysis and our technical analysis, and it's very obvious that VRA is not really sitting in a great position right now and is looking more likely to not drop further back down for a bit of a short-term relief. It has that descending channel, it has a potential push upwards. We've talked about how you would actually go about trading that, but overall it is looking quite negative. And if we go ahead and look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, what we see is Bitcoin dominance is actually climbing here. And we've talked a lot about the Bitcoin dominance chart on our Bitcoin videos, but essentially what the Bitcoin dominance chart is, it shows you the difference between the total amount of money, if you take the total amount of money in the cryptocurrency market cap, and it's showing us that 45% of that money is in Bitcoin in comparison to other coins. And when Bitcoin dominance rises, we generally see altcoins bleed a little bit. Money is flowing out of altcoins into Bitcoin. And if you combine that with a total cryptocurrency market cap, which is dropping, we have a already dropping total cryptocurrency market cap with increasing Bitcoin dominance. We have a flow out of altcoins, which is even more aggressive. So we would like to see Bitcoin dominance retrace, because when we see a retracement in Bitcoin dominance, we generally see altcoins push a little bit higher, rally a little bit, see some relief. If we see a retracement in this Bitcoin dominance chart, we could definitely see VRA push back upwards. And of course, if it does retrace, we could see it push upwards, maybe even past this range here, up into this range. But I think going back on this chart and just going back to the daily, just to really drill in what I think is going to occur, is if you are looking to long-term invest in VRA, right now is not the time. Right now is not the time. If we go ahead and look at our Bitcoin charts, and if you want to go ahead and look at our Bitcoin charts, look at our previous videos, but I'm going to go ahead and show you one of these charts, for example, which one over here. We can see Bitcoin is not looking very good right now. All right, we've printed a pretty bad looking candle over here on the 7-day. We're under a major long-term support, which is at $32,000 local low, all right, in July. We're pushing down to retest this dotted line, and we do have potential to crash lower. And of course, with the global economic situation, Bitcoin is looking weak. Risk assets are looking weak. Cryptocurrency altcoins are looking weak. All right, so if Bitcoin drops any further and Bitcoin dominance continues to rise, we cannot expect altcoins, and including VRA, to perform well in comparison to the rest of the market. We have to assume they're going to perform poorly. So with that being said, I do think we can see a rally up to here. I think it's unlikely that we're going to go higher. If we do, however, go higher, we do have targets over here at resistance. And like I said, if somehow the market completely flips, we're not bullish on VRA until this gray zone here is completely flipped. When we flip this gray zone, we can then expect a move up to 41 and potentially even higher. Okay guys, so we're just going to finish up with a community question, and Real Talk Cali asks, what happened with the death cross? He wants to know what was the update on it, what occurred. And we talked about the death cross a fair bit in one of our previous videos, warning you guys that a death cross was actually coming. But the reason I don't talk about it too much, I know a lot of people are absolutely obsessed with talking about it, is because when you understand the mathematics behind what calculates a moving average, and therefore what results in a death cross occurring, you understand that the actual cross occurring, this event here, is much less important or relevant than everything else leading up to it. And I'm going to explain that a little bit more. What is important when we notice a death cross isn't the fact that the price of these moving averages crossed over. What is important is the difference between the distance between the 50 and the 200 in comparison to where it is over a period of time. So if we notice they're pinching, we're seeing a decrease in the 50 and an increase in the 200. So the gap is closing, they're pinching. And generally when they pinch, it means the price moves. So the average versus the 200 moving average is average price over a 200 period, all right? And in this instance, we're on 3 days. So it's average price over 200 periods of 3 days. And then the 50 is the average price over 50 periods of 3 day candles. That makes sense. So we're seeing a decrease in price. That is all it's telling us. We're seeing a decrease in comparison to the 200. And when we see this pinch, we know the selling pressure is increasing, the trend is aggressively moving downwards, and generally by the time we actually see the cross, we've already seen an aggressive move downwards. It happens after the fact. So what I was telling you guys on YouTube, and obviously my members, is don't wait for the cross to happen, because the cross will basically make you late. It will make you late to predicting what's happening. If you're acting based on the cross, you've missed a big move already. You have to assume or use some educational understanding and infer a little bit onto the chart based on what price direction you think the price is going to go, based off that how these moving averages are acting in correlation to one another. And that is how you use the def cross, or should I say the moving averages. So you'll ask, what happened with the def cross? Obviously we had a crossover, and if I just delete everything on the chart, you can see when we crossed over, which was actually over here, in comparison to when the crash actually began, which is a few periods behind. And that's just another reason why the def cross is pretty poor. And I don't think you should use it to predict exact price drops. But what you can use it for is you can use it to predict strength of trend and trend continuation. So now that we know the 50 is under 200, we can confirm on the 3-day we're looking even more bearish than we did before. And we do expect that to continue until we start seeing that 50 again close up the gap between that 200 and starts to cross back over. When it crosses back over, we have that shorter, so the faster moving average is starting to increase in comparison to the slower moving average, and thus the price should begin to follow. All right, guys, that is the community question of the day. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. I always make sure to answer one at the end of every video. Okay guys, thanks for tuning into today's video. My voice hasn't been too good today. It's been a little bit raspy. I don't know if I got a little bit sick or something overnight, but nonetheless, thanks for listening, and I hope today's video was a bit of help for you guys. I do want to bring attention to the Crypto Academy course before we finish. If you want to learn how to trade, learn how to implement technical analysis, learn how to objectively analyze charts just like we do in these videos, this is the course for you. I've taken about 5 months of time with Rules of Crypto. We've combined all our knowledge, and we've made a digestible yet very extensive 10-unit course with over 500 slides, 84 videos, and a whole variety of worksheets and other tools to help you guys and develop your technical analysis skills and market analysis skills. By the end of the course, you'll be able to trade like a professional. You'll have advanced risk management strategies, you'll have trading strategies and plans, you'll know how to find trades and execute trades with precision and detail. If this is something you're interested and ready to bring your trading game to a whole new level, go ahead and contact cryptoacademycourses@gmail.com. I also want to quickly end by talking about my VIP channel, and my VIP channel has had a phenomenal month. We've done over 95.65% win rate this month already. 23 wins, 1 loss. Take a look at our profit over here. If you're interested in joining VIP, you get a whole range of benefits. You can find all the information in the description down below. Go ahead and click find more membership details in the pinned comment down below. That being said, guys, I'll catch you in the next video.